Each chakra has a frequency, and then there's a color associated with the chakra. So these are energy centers in the body. And there are glands within the body that are communicating with the brain, and the brain's communicating with the glands. And when there's been trauma that's happened, energy gets stored in the body in these particular glands, which causes a blockage in the chakra. So the root chakra is the base, and it's actually in the areas that it's located is actually more than just what people are familiar with, which is your seat of, like, when you're sitting down, it would be encompassing like your if you're a woman, you have vagina, man, your testicles. This would be your sacral bones, your seat bones. This would actually also be anything below that, all the way down to your feet. So that's your root chakra, essentially. Now, your root chakra, and I'm just reading from the Chakra Healing Workbook, and if you want to follow along with what I'm teaching, you can actually purchase the Chakra Healing Workbook on our website, alkalignlifestyle.com. That's ALKALIGN lifestyle.com. Go to our products and services, and you can find the Chakra Healing Workbook there. I think it's like $29.99 or something. You get a digital copy, and you have all of the information, the resources, and the activities there. And if you want a live in-person experience with this work, you can actually check out breathethebluE.com/om-azing. So amazing. I'll put the link in the description of this video. But so your root chakra system is our first energy center, and is associated with the color red. Think about the rainbow. That's going to be the start of your root chakra. So associated with the color red, it's held in the root or base of our bodies. It's the most tangible aspect of who we are, and it's literally the foundation of our root bed, of which we stand, that anchors our life and our sense of self. This energy center is developed in utero up to 12 months. I actually would say it's developed prior to that, but that's another argument for another day. It's our foundation of sense of world, sense of self. It is governed by our sense of feeling secure, stable, strong, and safe in the world. It is directly related to our sense of self and our relationships to our mothers. Our mother was our first primary caregiver, or perhaps you had a substitute. But either way, it's the most primal energy that you are drawn to as a young one, as an infant, as a baby, as a toddler. It's the energy that is the foundation of your security, your safety. That's why babies and moms are so bonded in the first few years of life, to nourish that root chakra. Traumas/abuses to the first chakra. Now, you can interchange this as root chakra, first chakra, or first energy center. All are acceptable, and all are meaning the same thing. Abuses or traumas might look like birth difficulty, difficult labor/pregnancy, difficulty feeding or lack of bondage. So maybe you were not breastfed, or maybe you had a difficult time with being breastfed because you were agitated, mom was agitated, you're feeding off of mom's energy, and mom gave up with breastfeeding, or it was just a difficult time for the both of you. Depressed, overwhelmed, overworked, alcoholic, sick mom, postpartum depression. These all affect bondage and attachment between mom and baby. A balanced chakra is a feeling of strong balance, stable, comfortable in your body, comfortable in your world, feeling grounded, being in your right livelihood in your work. Now, if you saw my video prior to this, I was talking about my sense of purpose in my work and my disobedience from the Creator on what my work and what my purpose are. And so you can see where this is going. If you watched that video, if you did not, you can scroll down to our page and you can find that video. You can find snippets of that video if you're on our TikTok page. If you're on our YouTube page, you can go back to our library and you can find that video, Finding My Purpose, and Healing My Mental Health. So excessive tendencies would be hoarding material things or food, overeating, obesity, and material fixations. So this looks like you could be hoarding objects. You've seen this, there's a show based off of hoarders, and it's a real thing, and it comes from a very, very sad place of being insecure and not feeling safe. So you feel like you have to hoard things. You can see this in animals too. You can see this in dogs that might be resource guarding. So in humans, hoarding would be the same thing as resource guarding. Obesity again, and material fixation. So you're fixated on things material and external in the 3D world. And deficiencies would be eating difficulty, anorexia, bulimia, anxiousness, restlessness, poor focus, and general fear. I actually experienced all of that, and specifically the anorexia, bulimia, all of it. All of it, because my root chakra was jacked up for many years. Essential oils are Valor. Now each chakra, each gland is attracted to and has a frequency calibrated to an oil or a scent, and Valor is an essential oil that you can use by rubbing on either your hands, and you can smell it. Give a nice inhale before like a meditation or something. You can rub it on the bottoms of your feet, around your neck, wherever you feel called to rub it. You can rub a few drops on the soles of your feet and into the palms of your hands. Cup your hands over your mouth like I just showed you, and your nose. Taking a few deep breaths. Inhale the scent up into the amygdala gland, which basically is just taking that information and it is giving it a soothing, grounding, relaxation feel. Sound frequencies. So like I said, every chakra has an attunement to a sound frequency. And for the root chakra, it is 396 hertz. And you can actually play this. You can go to YouTube, which is actually what we do. We would go to YouTube, and we have this saved in our music devices, but you can go to YouTube and you can type in 396 hertz HZ, and you'll find a whole library, a whole bunch of different options of what you can download to help recalibrate your root chakra, and that will heal or help to harmonize that root chakra. So there's so much scientific evidence around sound healing and sound therapies and music medicine. It's incredible, and this helps me tremendously when I have a chakra that is out of balance, and when I've had my root chakra out of balance, and I go back and I play the 396 or might play all of them simultaneously. There are options for that as well. And I play this through a device that has a frequency generator, so you can generate that frequency. You can play that, whatever you're listening to, through 432 hertz or 528 hertz. So there's resources that's in our resources on our website as well. So this has been really impactful, and I highly recommend it for anybody who wants it's just so easy to do. You know, you just play it overnight or play it at any time that you need that calibration. So staying grounded and balanced. When we feel anxious in the world and feel fear, we literally get light on our feet. We become flighty, perhaps indecisive, and it's really important to ground our roots, our feet, and our feet back into the earth. So if you are feeling very flighty, feeling very not grounded in yourself, grounding, earthing is an amazing practice for getting back into your body. And we'll talk about some of the things that you can do aside from that. Fidgeting and embellishing physically is an indicator of the mind being distracted. Meditation and other practices of steadiness and stillness of the mind bring us back to our grounded, centered selves. Physical strength building exercises are excellent for grounding. So think like you could do yoga, which is a physical and a meditative practice. You can do weightlifting. You can do, and we have exercises actually that help with not just physical movement, but they align with how our bodies are meant to move and don't create stress and strain on the body in a harmful way. And there's a resource for that in the comments. If you go to Silveggio.com or SilveggioTraining.com, whatever it is listed down below, is actually my husband's training website for if you want those physical training practices. Additional grounding exercises such as earthing, which I just mentioned, or grounding are incredibly powerful ways to get rooted into the earth. This is our direct connection to feeling grounded. Like the earth is our first home, and it is the essence of what we are made up of. And connecting back to our natural environment gives us a sense of groundedness, stability, a sanctuary, if you will. These are going barefoot, just spending time in nature. They're incredibly healing and immediately help clear your energy. You could take a dip in the ocean. I take a dip in the ocean even in the wintertime. I still get in my bikini and I still go in the ocean and I get grounded, and it is so amazing and powerful and potent energy. You could do a forest bathing, go up to a forest and just let yourself bathe in the forest of the trees. You can get your hands in the dirt, go volunteer on a farm, like a local farm, and get your hands on the animals and touch your animal. This is why people are drawn to their pets, because they, especially our dogs, they spend their time when they're on the earth, they're absorbing all of that energy as much as they can. Now, animals, when they are not grounded, they feel chaotic, and it's the same thing as us. All right, stepping out into the sand, playing in water, walking through the grass, hugging a tree. I love this one. Absorbing direct sunlight, all clear your energy. Nature is incredibly powerful at neutralizing your energy. Okay, meditations and affirmations. So this, I wrote meditations that you can do as a practice, very simple meditations. I do very long meditations, but sometimes a nice simple meditation, especially for somebody that's not very familiar with meditation and the practice, or maybe they've tried it and they've given up because it was just like so hard, right? Getting into our mind and being still present. So here's a meditation that you can do, and we'll do this together. I want you to sit in a quiet place and read aloud or listen to a recording of yourself speaking the following meditation. So you can do this in a recorder, you can take on your phone, you can do on the voice memo, you can record yourself. And the meditation is this: I now release my fears to the earth and ground myself, surrendering to the pull of gravity. I am aware of this moment in time, this breath flowing in and out. I thank my Creator for all my needs met. I accept any waves of fear or insecurity that arise, and now release them, replacing them with waves of love, abundance, satisfaction, blessings, and gratitude. I enjoy owning my body, breathing fresh energy into the base of my spine. When you record that, you can play it back to yourself, or you can write it and you can read it out loud. Or if you get the workbook, you can just read it from the workbook. And then an affirmation paired with that: I am strong, stable, and grounded in my full presence and power. Repeat that. It says in the workbook to repeat 4 times, but I recommend repeating until you get to the sense of peace and calm and relaxation. I am strong, stable, and grounded in my full presence and power. I am strong, stable, and grounded in my full presence of power. If that doesn't let you feel grounded, I don't know what will. Okay, so in this workbook, I also have a spot of reflections, and this is important for us to reflect. It's not important to be fixated on the past, but it's important to be aware of what our patterns were that got us to where we are so we can break those patterns. If you watched my previous video that I talked about in my mental health journey, you will understand that I had a pattern of disobedience and running from the truth. And so that got me to, until I understood that, I wasn't able to break that pattern. All right. And those cycles happened, maybe not immediately in a short span of time, but definitely over time. I would keep finding myself with this catastrophic event happening in my life, self-sabotage, and wondering why I was there. And until I did the reflection, I was able to see the patterns. Only then was I able to actually break them because I wanted to. So in reflections, considering your very first experience begins in utero, did you have a consistent feeling of safety? Or were there any major traumas before, during, or after birth? Now, this can be a little bit challenging because that is the very, very beginning of when we were, in our physical vessel, right? So if you have trouble with this, go back to your mom and ask questions around the pregnancy and around the birth and, what was the pregnancy like? Was it like really easy and relaxing, or was it like stressful? What was the birthing process like? And what was it like after I came out of utero? What was it like after I was delivered and into this world? What was our bondage like? And so getting that clarity and writing your answers, you can see kind of the stemming of where your ungroundedness lies. And this is really beautiful because now you know that you can go back and you can. One of the practices that I like to do is actually go back to moments and imagine that they played out differently. And I let it play out until I feel that it is embodied in me, meaning that I feel that it's already happened. And that energy gets released, which is a beautiful practice. I love it, and I recommend it for anybody. You can do it anywhere, at any time. You don't need to go to a shaman and do ayahuasca or changa or any kind of other plant medicine. And actually, our herbal formula is quite like a plant medicine, which is amazing. But you don't go into a state of unconsciousness. You are conscious throughout. You just become aware, like when things come up, and we guide you through this so that when things come up, you understand how to handle those challenges. We help you work through that energy. And that's not for everybody, but for people who do feel called that they don't want to, be on medications anymore for things, psychoactive drugs, or they don't want to be on psychoactive or medicinal like plants, things like that, and they don't want to go through that's psychosis. We have an alternative to solution that I quite enjoy. And I made a commitment to myself when I was a teenager, when I got diagnosed with my eating disorder, that I wanted to learn how to deal with like the real world, outside of a facility. And so that's the kind of medicine that we bring to you guys through our energy detox program. Some more reflections. Where in your life do you need anchoring? Examples might include credit card debt, unpaid bills, addressing a part of your body that needs healing, having a conversation with someone that needs healing. And I've done all of these. And none of them are really fun and exciting and sexy. But when you do the work, it is so necessary. I remember I did the work around like grief. I was holding on to grief and feeling powerless in a series of my life. And I went back to each scenario, and I was able to heal parts of me and relationships that I had with people at those times. And that gave me my energy back as well, which was a beautiful practice. So I didn't necessarily have to go back and have conversations with people that are no longer in my life, people I haven't seen in over 20 years. These are relationships from college, from high school, elementary school. And if those relationships are still in your life, then by all means have that conversation. And I found myself feeling like I needed to go back and have the conversation with my first boyfriend and my first best friend and whatever. And I realized I didn't need to do that. And some of them, they were really therapeutic for me to go through and have those actual conversations. But I realized I didn't need to. After those first couple, I was like, I don't necessarily need to go back and have real life conversations with people, because when it happens in your mind, it happens in real life, which is the cool thing. So write that down, write down your answers. Who do you need to talk to? What part of your body do you need to give attention to? What area in your finances do you need attention on? Do you have any unpaid bills it's like subconsciously giving you anxiety, right? So that's how you know. And it's the things that you often think about like late at night and you can't fall asleep. How can you create more steadiness, consistency, strength, and security in your daily life? How can you create more trust in the world? Ask for what you need and write it down. Now, this is personal for an individual, for each of you. So write down what comes up for you. I can say for me, consistency was very, very important in having a grounding morning routine. You know, immediately upon waking up, I kind of like let myself wake up a little bit, and then I go into meditation. And then from there, I will, ground myself on the earth, and then I'll greet my family, and my husband and I will say our affirmations together, which is, our form of prayer. That is our morning routine. That has helped me tremendously. And when I have been off with that, and I've immediately just like shut up and gone about my day, I feel so neurotic. So having a grounding morning routine and having consistency with that, or having some sort of structure, and giving yourself the space to go within yourself and get grounded in yourself first, radically changes how you feel throughout the day. And it gives you that sense of like groundedness, stability. All right, the next one. What is your relationship to your family and origin? Money, your body, and food. These are all primal needs that we have. And when our primal needs feel threatened by any means, we feel a sense of fight or flight. And so what happens long term is disease. It could be cancer, it could be fibroids, it could be issues with fertility, it could be herpes, it could be whatever affects your root chakra area. Know that that is directly related to the energy that needs to be worked on. So write down your answers and reflect. What is your relationship to your family? For me, my family relationship was very disconnected. And I had to go back and I had to have conversations with my family around certain things that we did not talk about. Like, my family is very, very, very good at suppressing things and not being open and transparent with each other. It's very easy for us to just sweep things under the rug. And for me, eventually, I was more like a volcano and I erupted. So being and like acknowledging, like, have grace with yourself and write these things down. Like, even if it's money, a lot of people are walking around with money insecurities, and it's stopping them from pursuing the things that they want to pursue in life and having that freedom that they so desperately want. Like, for me, I had a terrible relationship with finances, terrible relationship. And it gave me a sense of unease. And I remember that was a huge source of my arguments with my spouse, because I did not feel secure with money and he did. So it gave me a lot to reflect on, and that was an area that I really needed to give attention to. I needed to understand finances. I needed to understand how money works in the world. I needed to understand that it's really just physical representation of an energetic exchange, for goods and services. And, it helps me with being able to ask for help, not just ask for financial resources, but other sources of help. So if you feel like you can't ask for help, it can very much be related to the fact that you don't feel grounded in yourself. You don't feel a sense of stability. And what's interesting is that our chakras, there might be one that's out of balance, and then it's directly related to another. So it's interesting that our chakras are all interconnected with each other. They're all speaking to each other. They're all talking to each other. And so there might be one that's out of balance, but you might feel it somewhere else in your body. Like for me, it was definitely in my root chakra. Definitely I felt it all over my body, but I could feel times where certain ones were most prominent and they were talking to each other. And when I went back and I did the energetic work, I was able to recalibrate them and bring harmony and peace and balance into my mind and into my physical and energetic body. So this is just the first chapter of my 7 core chakra healing workbook, and I will actually show you guys what this looks like. So if you go to our website and you feel called to join along with this, if you want to do this yourself, you want to purchase the actual book, by all means, you're welcome to. So the 7 core chakra healing workbook, if you go to our website, alkalignlifestyle.com, that's ALKALIGN lifestyle.com, the link is below. You can purchase the 7 core chakra healing workbook. Now, as I mentioned earlier at the beginning of this video, I am leading a retreat in June of next year, so that's 2024, in Catalonia, Greece. And we actually take the work that we do in this chakra healing workbook and we apply it in workshops, and we teach women how to recalibrate, harmonize, and balance their 7 core chakra energy centers. And we also go through plant-based nutrition and how that's integrated into our energy centers. And we do workshops around plant-based cooking and nutrition. And we go on excursions, and we're just staying in this beautiful villa. And if you've never been to Greece, this is your time, this is your opportunity, this is your chance to go. So we do have some early bird pricing specials and a Black Friday special that is ending today, which is November 25th. So do take advantage of those specials if you do feel called to invest in yourself and do the necessary work that you've been needing to do to create harmony in your life, and you want to upgrade your patterns and you want to create generational health for generational wealth. So if you feel called to do that, click the link below. That's breathetheblue.com. I believe it's /om-amazing.